Hi everyone, and thank you for watching. In this video, I'm exploring why the alien story cannot be otherworldly, meaning from another planet. I'll start by saying, we keep asking whether Mars can support life, but maybe that question's premise is already a poor one. This premise led me to conduct a thought experiment, and it went something like this. What if every planet, star, and major body in space already has life? By this I mean life ideal to its own constitution. I'm not talking life as we know it with bodies or biology like ours, technology like ours, or even similar consciousness like us. I'm saying that maybe each planet has its own conditions for life, like biology, energetic, spiritual, or something our present bodies and instruments are not designed to detect. This is where the mainstream view starts to feel counterintuitive to me. And I know this is not anywhere near an original idea, but I'm going to twist this a bit for us as I explain. So to begin, we say there is no confirmed life on nearby planets, yet we search mainly for Earth-like signs of life, like for example, water, carbon chemistry, habitable temperatures, and physical conditions that resemble our own world. Mars is the clearest example, and scientifically, Mars is not considered an ideal Earth-like place today. The stronger accepted claim is that ancient Mars may once have had conditions more favorable to microbial life, and that is why it remains one of the main places we search. But even then, we are still using Earth as the template. So my question here becomes, what if that template is the limitation? What if Mars is not supposed to host Earth-like life? What if every planet, moon, star, and body has a type of life that matches its own nature instead of ours? That is where astrology becomes interesting to me, not as a replacement for science, but as another ancient system that already treats planets as having distinct functions, energies, and purposes, not reductions to just gases, elements, solid matter, etc. Before asking whether humans can visit or colonize another planet, maybe we should ask something deeper, like, are we assuming every world is supposed to operate like Earth? Because if astrology is even partially correct about planets having distinct energetic purposes, then the whole space narrative becomes much more complicated. It would mean planets are not just empty rocks waiting for human expansion. They are different fields, constitutions, and realities. Maybe every planet is not a future version of Earth. Maybe just simply it is itself. So now this is where I will enter astrology into the argument. Because astrology does not look at planets the same way modern space science does. Let's compare two models a bit. In the scientific model, a planet is mainly treated as a physical environment, like gravity, atmosphere, temperature, minerals, radiation, water orbit, and surface conditions. But in astrology, a planet is not just a location, it is a field, a force, function, constitution, a pattern of energy that affects life, consciousness, and even correlates to parts of the body and some of its systems. So this brings me back to the original question. Why do we assume life somewhere else would look anything like life here? Why do we assume another planet's biology would be built around our chemistry, our senses, our body type, our organs, our atmosphere, our temperature range, or even our relationship to matter? And even deeper than that, why do we assume another planet's purpose would be like Earth's purpose? If Earth is the place of physical embodiment, then Earth life makes sense here, and only here. Some examples of physical embodiment are dense bodies, biology, food, bones, gravity, time, birth, aging, death. This whole human experience is built around matter. But if another planet has a different constitution, then its life, body, or intelligence would not need to match ours. Its technology would not need to look like machines, rockets, screens, metal, or physical tools the way ours do. If we consider planets of other constitutions, and this is going to be more abstract, a planet organized around force may produce life that expresses force. A planet organized around feelings may produce life that expresses feelings. A planet organized around light, pressure, time, magnetism, expansion, restriction, or even dissolution may produce forms of life that we may not even recognize as life. And that may be the blind spot. The modern search for life is still mostly searching for life as Earth's scientific paradigm understands it. Even when the scientific paradigm expands the definition, the baseline is still Earth as water, carbon, cells, chemistry, habitability, metabolism, and physical evidence that our instruments can detect. That makes sense scientifically, but it may also be the limitation, because if life adapts to the constitution of its own world, then we may be looking at living planets while calling them dead, simply because of the limited defining paradigm. Perhaps we need more serious paradigms to be extensively developed. This is why the Mars question feels backwards to me. Instead of asking, can Mars support human life, maybe we should ask, what kind of life would Mars support if Mars is fully itself by more than the scientific paradigm's standard? And if the answer is based in education, outside of our limited ones like physical science, then maybe Mars was never supposed to become our second home. Maybe Mars is already occupied by its own principle that we are not a part of. Maybe every planet is. And maybe the real issue is not that the universe is empty. Maybe the issue is that we only know how to recognize ourselves because of the limited scope that we are herded into looking through. So maybe a lifeless universe exists because of a mind that is trained to see through limitations. Maybe we are not seeing dead planets. Maybe we are seeing realities we have not learned how to recognize. I truly wonder if the way we have accepted to look at the universe will be completely different in the future once we accept, incorporate, and expand the ancient and esoteric wisdom that is now taboo. So thank you. I love and appreciate you. Hope you all have a great one out there.